Hello everyone, friends. Today once again we are seeing, hearing and reading a sensational piece of news coming from the United States of America, which is once again related to the implementation of a tough immigration policy that Donald Trump began to enforce across the entire country after becoming president. And in fact, such a tough immigration policy could become a turning point for the entire immigration policy of the West, including Europe. Because European countries look at the United States and see how immigration policy is implemented there, how ICE, the police, the border service and so on operate, how they catch illegal immigrants and how quickly it all happens and they deport them literally within a week. But now we move on to the vibrant and rapidly growing city of Charlotte, which is located in the state of North Carolina, in the southeastern region of the United States, where the Ukrainian refugee Veronika Zarutska was unfortunately recently killed. At this very moment, a large-scale immigration enforcement operation, which has been given the name Charlotte's Web, is currently underway in that area. The Department of Homeland Security is officially launching Operation Charlotte's Web to apprehend and detain illegal immigrants accused of crimes in Charlotte, North Carolina. During this operation, just as it began, about 200 illegal migrants were detained, with 130 people apprehended within 48 hours. In this city, which has a population of about 950,000, 161,000 of them are in the country illegally. This is roughly the police report summary. Of these, 44 people have previous convictions, including for the following crimes: assaulting police officers, which is a serious offense, battery, causing grievous bodily harm, driving under the influence, and other more minor offenses. During the first hours of this large-scale operation, 2 members associated with organized crime were detained, specifically from Central American gangs. That includes MS-13 and so on. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security stated that the city's democratic authorities, including the Democratic mayor, allowed the flow of illegal migration, that is, the influx of undocumented immigrants, and this, in turn, led to a rise in crime in the city. In turn, the governor of North Carolina, George Stein, refuted this. And in response, he stated the following: masked armed agents in unmarked cars are a security threat. We should be going after criminals, not people going to church or decorating their homes for Christmas. He said this in response to the actions of ICE, who detain people and conduct checks on the streets, in supermarkets and in stores. If they see that someone is undocumented, has no papers, the person is immediately detained and taken to a detention center for undocumented immigrants, and so on. So that's what he said in response, that this shouldn't be done, it's undemocratic. By the way, let me know, do you support the actions of ICE agents? What do you think about how they operate in American cities? They literally smash windows, pull people out of cars, check documents, and so on. The American press is actively linking these intensified actions by immigration authorities in the city to the murder of Ukrainian refugee Veronika Zarutskaya. In other words, they see a direct cause and effect relationship here, because this Ukrainian refugee died as a result of an attack. After this tragedy, local residents demanded that measures against migrants, especially against illegal immigrants, be toughened. And accordingly, Trump said, well, this is what you want, so let's strengthen the measures. And he gave the order. And now a large-scale operation is being carried out in this city. And as we know, friends, this situation only plays into Trump's hands. This statement by local residents about tightening control, because US President Donald Trump has made migration policy the central part of his campaign. In other words, he's placing a big bet specifically on migration policy, namely the fight against illegal immigrants. Mass arrests are taking place and quick decisions on deportation are being made. And accordingly, deportations are happening without any lengthy legal or bureaucratic procedures. Everything happens very quickly. They detain someone, a week passes, and they're expelled from the US. By the way, do you support the policy that Trump has started to implement or not? Please write your thoughts in the comments as well. Now, in the US, passive migration, coming, staying illegally for a while, seeing how things go, and then somehow starting to process documents while working illegally in the meantime, no longer works under this kind of policy. Now, the only future is to obtain legal status before entering the US, to get a profession and to enter the US on a work visa as a qualified worker. You have to know the language no matter what. And accordingly, you need to legalize your status, pay taxes, and make sure all your documents are properly processed from a legal standpoint. That's the only way, because nothing else will work anymore. And maybe someone will still be able to hide somewhere. But now, for undocumented immigrants, just walking the streets of American cities is simply dangerous. It's unclear whether this will intensify further or not. But if things continue at the same pace, it really will be tough for undocumented immigrants. By the way, according to police statistics, there are 14 million undocumented immigrants living in America. In the US, as reported by American media, people are being deported right from supermarkets, parks, churches, even pulled out of their cars. Whether you have documents or not, they take you straight to a deportation center. A week later, you're on a plane. That's it. You're deported. In other words, if someone wants to enter the US, their legal status must be arranged before they arrive or while they're already in the country. But it's important to understand that in any case, there will be an illegal status because ICE can come for a person later and detain them. That's the situation, friends. I think that in the future, we'll hear, see, and read news from other American cities where similar large-scale ICE operations will also take place. I'm 100% sure of that, as long as Trump is in power. What do you think about this topic, friends? Please share your opinion in the comments.